I'm Jo Davies and I'm an illustrator and an author. I'm working on a big project with two writers who are Manx writers, and they had this fantastic idea which was to write stories based on Ballure graveyard, and it's the people who are buried there, and they're mostly people whose names might be familiar on the island but they might be forgotten, their ancestors no longer live here, and they approached me to illustrate that project, and one of them is actually the Gibbs family as well. So the idea that we came up with collectively was for me to create a series of silhouettes of these people based on the stories of their lives. And so I thought a good idea would be to create one based on the inhabitants of the Gibbs family home, and to create a silhouette based on one of the characters who inhabited this great house. And so I've been focusing on one of the dresses because it's just got such a great outline. It'll make a terrific silhouette. I love kind of decorative things anyway. I love clothes and costume and jewellery, but it's got such a distinctive shape, and I think that because of that it kind of epitomises a particular era of history, and to capture that really in a drawing for me, it's kind of absorbing all that kind of history, like who wore that dress, where would they have been, what would that have been like when you walked in it, and how would it have been with kind of hair decorated a certain way, or jewellery. So it becomes like a trigger, like a symbol that kind of recalls this whole narrative of somebody's life. So that's what museums like anyway, aren't they? They're kind of little things which kind of encapsulate a kind of bygone era. So that dress, you know, they're quite static, aren't they, things in museums? It's hard to kind of sometimes kind of remember that these are a bustling place where people lived. But so to kind of focus on that which is beautiful and decorative as an object, but to know that the story behind that is also rich and interesting, and that there's a person involved in it. You know, people wear dresses, don't they, and they have desires and lives, and that's what resonates with the kind of book project that I've been working on, really, that the graveyards in a graveyard, you know, they don't kind of say very much in a way, only a few words on the stone, but it's all those lives, and people loved each other and they went places and they saw things and did things. And I think that's what's interesting to me about drawing historical things as well, that they symbolise so much more than the actual object themselves. So today I was working with a combination of paint, which helps me to get colour down very quickly and to get shape down very quickly, and then coloured pencils and pencils to get sort of a detail, really. So I tend to work in that way. It's quite quick kind of putting paint down, and then I love kind of detail, obsessive detail, really. So the kind of sharp ends of things, pencils or whatever, coloured crayons, allow me to kind of define edges and to kind of get detailing. So when I'm drawing like I did today, or when I'm out and about sketching, I'm not trying to make it exactly as it is in front of me, because I'd use my phone to do that. I'm trying to kind of create my version of what I see, and to kind of take from whatever I'm looking at, so that I've got that to use in the future. So it's kind of like my version of something, and it's kind of a mixture of my memory and what my eyes have decided is interesting for me, but then capturing that somehow on the page. And sometimes those drawings aren't really for anybody else to look at. It's quite nice just to make a big kind of mess that's like a shorthand for me, really. This character is based on Mary Gibb, who's at the Grove. I've used the drawing of this great dress which I painted at the museum, and created this image where the figure contains a bit of the text from the book, The Story from Stone. You can see that the process actually entailed me colouring that digitally here before it was printed out to become a silhouette. So the book will be published later on in the year, and these silhouettes will be used life-size to give a sense of the whole characters and the flavour of the person behind the story.